Well, good evening, everyone, for definitely the first time. Hello, everyone in stream. Hello, Lissa. It's so good to see you. Fans of the channel will know Lissa from her many turns as an irascible centaur and the psychic communications officer of a very poorly run spaceship and an angsty teen who in a haunted house decides, I'm just going to go off and be by myself, and then gets possessed or something. Lissa's been around. Lissa's the best. Cool. So yes, we are here, however, to torture these fine people. Not really. We are here to continue a tale about the Old West, or really more properly, the Weird West. This is Cowboys and Cthulhu, which is a Call of Cthulhu game that uses the Down Darker Trails rule set, which is basically a hack of Call of Cthulhu to really help us tell stories in the creepy eldritch Old West. And we are also using the Pulp Cthulhu rules. If anyone is familiar with Call of Cthulhu, it's super duper deadly. So we kind of midway decided to give everyone a level of pulp so they won't die immediately, because then you can't draw out the torture. So they have been through some things and stuff. And, most people are doing well. There's only a couple of missing body parts. Only one of them's possessed. So, things are going pretty okay for Call of Cthulhu, but they're not in the best spot. But so I don't steal the thunder. Why don't we have everyone introduce themselves and then give everyone a little bit about your character and what your character's thinking right now. Erthos.
All right. My name is Erthos, or Lord Erthos. If you see me in chat, you can see me here, there, and everywhere on Twitch, except streaming on my own channel. Currently playing Jack, who is a gambler who is seeing how far he can keep things going. I think he might be the most sane person in the party right now through sheer luck. And he is currently not convinced that he's going to come out of this alive. Misha.
Hi, I'm Misha _lesson3. I have a bit of a cold, so I'm just off cams today. I'm playing Minnie. She's a photographer and kind of specializes in weird occult photography. She didn't really believe in that before, but it's really come to the light, so to speak, because she is super obsessed with this crazy white light that is what's going to control everything, and she must have it. So she's kind of been high key thinking about that while they've been going down here. The source of it that she knows of currently is arson, but she's puzzling through that. In the immediate sense, they are quite imperiled, but all these big strong men will surely save them from all of this danger. While she figures out this light stuff. Tough.
All right, I am 90 Tough Love, Tough Torpleton, some other variety of nickname. Stream over on twitch.tv/98 Tough Love sometimes, but I'm usually here or bothering Juice. I am playing Elaine, and Elaine's doing great. Definitely just struck her first Warlock Pact, so we're gonna see how that goes. And she's doing fine. That was a very sane and sensible decision to allow an old god to possess her body. We're gonna go for walkies. Yeah. Go villain.
My name is Your Only Villain or Villain. I'm playing Felix. So he is kind of just holding on by a few threads at this point. Everything is just kind of falling apart around him. At least from what he used to know, and it's slowly getting worse as time goes on. And now we just kind of stepped into another world, so we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Hey everybody, I'm Chev. I am playing Arson, who is a former lawman who I would say has been through a lot of changes recently. Losing his hand first and foremost and having it replaced by some kind of evil / magical otherworldly radium driven mechanism. And I would say his mental state is kind of like a manic positivity right now. He is on a drive. He has a mission. He has something that they have to do. But if he like lets himself slow down and actually think about things, I think he would come to a lot of very different conclusions. And so Arson is a blend of contrasts.
Cool.
And I'm Katie, and I'm here and in Juice's channel and other friends' channels. And I'm playing Anna, who is the doctor who just took us to the other world. And I feel like, I don't know, Anna's tired. She just wants to retire. She doesn't think anyone's gonna get out of this alive, but if at least one or two people live, we can figure it out. And then it's not all a total loss. So that's the optimistic outcome we're looking for.
Yeah. Just a few corrections. Chev, you didn't lose your hand. Your hand got fed up and left. Let's face it. And we haven't established that Minnie's contraption is evil. It's just real weird. So in this system, there's weird science. So a couple of the characters have the trait of being able to create, either start with and or create and maintain weird science things. So like Minnie's camera that can see the past, the future, and the spirit world is an example of weird science. So it's fine. It's fine. You did bring it to the other world, and we'll see what that means. And so, yes, you have, as your second adventure together, many of you, you have been tracking down a series of murders in Denver that were clearly of supernatural origin. You found a bunch of information. You found out more information about your employer, the secrets that he was hiding, the person that he was hiding. You've learned a lot, and you've had more than a few scrapes with the Eldritch, and lost a fair amount of sanity points between you. You only recently discovered that someone or someones were attempting to make a path for a being, an entity, a substance, a creature known as the Flood, whose only aim is to absorb all that is good and living in worlds and universes and then move on to the next. And you discover that the only way that you could conquer this creature or prevent its advent was to travel into this other world where the old gods lie and stop whoever is trying to open the gate from that side, so that you can come back and kill the, I don't know, dozens of ghouls and whatever else they have down in this hole that are attempting to open it or keep it open from this side. So you successfully, by bonding with a giant dead monster thing, an old god of the wild, you were able to get past the Guardian and have just set foot into this other world. The air is thin. The dust, the like very, very fine, almost powder that you kick up as your boots hit the hard scrabble of this plane is cloying and seems to stick to everything, seems to coat your nose and mouth and throat with some sort of slightly bitter slime. To one side, you see these impossibly tall, jagged, ominous mountains. To the other side, you see a forest of structures of alien geometry. And above you whirl busily strange constellations of shifting colors. And you are all very aware that you have something's attention. What happens?
Okay, Anna, we're here. Now what?
Yeah, where's the door?
Where's the guy?
Well, this is also my first time here, believe it or not.
But like you have a connection. Like that was the whole point of that ritual that we did. Or like the you were doing that thing with the statue. Like do you have a sense for like where it is? What that is? Like I mean, And Arson like gets lost looking at the stars for a second. Like, just this place is weird. Like, what are we doing?
Hmm. I don't know if I'm the best sensor, but I'll try. Can I? Is there anything I can do?
Perception.
Wait, you want someone to sense things?
I mean,
Supernatural things?
Yeah, definitely
ask
ask
the
Anna
person
to do
who's
that.
yes, I think a cult would work. But folks can be creative. Spot hidden would work to see if there's any sign of previous passage or any clues. Maybe a hard survival, because this is not a super
So
similar landscape. Yes.
can I do a spot hidden and then turn to my good friend Elaine and say, hey, I feel like maybe you might pick something up too.
Yeah, anyone can try. Anyone can try.
But I also do want to do a spot hidden just
If
to
you
see.
had science astronomy, you could attempt to understand where you are in the universe by the constellations above. There's all sorts of things. Be creative.
Yeah, I think, Jack is not exactly reassured by Anna right now, so he's going to look around for signs of like any kinds of tracks or anything.
Sure. Good.
I was going to say anything weird, but that doesn't apply here.
Well, you're going to find it.
Wow. Why
So-
am I listen? You should have the utmost faith in me. I just rolled a 9.
Oh, babe, I just rolled an 8.
Oh, wow.
Good job, you guys. I looked around and I
98
got a
tough love.
Yeah, let's go.
79 out of 60, so I'm just like, whoa, what is this dust anyway? And just kind of,
You're flashing back to that vision you had
yeah.
of rolling white sands and mushroom clouds. So it's okay that you're a little distracted.
Yeah, and Jack's right there with Anna and Elaine. I've got a 12 under 60.
Excellent. So
Arson would be looking for like people, like not like figures, I guess. It's like threats, and that was a 9 under 66.
ooh,
Oh,
There goes all our good rolls for the night.
interesting. Yeah, you guys are gonna die.
Yeah.
It's fine. For those that are new or haven't been here in a while, you can redeem channel points for boons, which give benefits to them and help them be successful, or banes, which help me hurt them. I don't need more banes. They're in the other world surrounded by Cthulhu. It's fine. Give them all the boons. They'll need them.
This
So-
whole situation is a bane.
Kind of. So, those of you looking nearby do detect a variety of signs of passage. Strange slithering tracks with little dots next to them, like a centipede or millipede, but significantly larger than any of the ones you've seen, including those that Anna would have seen in natural history books focusing on discoveries in the jungles of South America. Other strange, you do see signs of movement in the sky. It's difficult to tell for sure because the constellations and stars and galaxies seem to be whirling much more erratically than one would expect. But you do think that maybe there are some flying creatures above. It reminds you of the Johnny Come Out to plays from when you were at the old Tillman place. But collectively, because those were all fantastic rolls, those of you who made them, there does seem to be some general path leading toward the forest of structures. And perhaps it's overhearing this, and with his lawman senses of always double checking to make sure that you're not walking into an ambush, Arson takes his eagle eye and applies it to those structures. Well, so although they are definitely not OSHA compliant, there are balconies without railings. They do look like some of them might fall over at any moment. It would appear, based on your assumption of scale, that these are inhabited, or at least habitable, by something vaguely humanoid. The challenge is that there are no openings doorways, windows, etc., at ground level. The lowest are more than 100 feet high. And because of that exceptional roll, I will say that you believe that you see faint movement in the kind of gaping darkness of one of the larger openings in one of the nearer buildings, as if something had briefly peeked out of the deepest shadow and then moved back to where it was invisible to you. Trick of the light, maybe, but your instincts tell you otherwise. Now, Elaine, what question are you asking, or what are you doing with your unusual senses?
I think Elaine was thinking back to that vision of the future that she got, and so she's trying to track down any thing that will maybe direct her to where this person she saw is, like whether, like especially with her newfound like kind of pact sort of deal, if she can track something that's similar to that.
Yes. You got a hard success, right?
Yeah, it was an 8
extreme,
under 75.
extreme success. Yeah, extreme
Yeah.
success. So you open your senses in this place and then immediately regret it.
As I do.
But power through. You have to find a way to ignore or dull this weight of attention upon you. This vast, looming, and sinister intelligence that pervades this entire area. With some effort, you're able to dull that awareness within yourself and focus on more mundane intelligences. And yes, in fact, you do sense what you think is another human in the direction of the buildings.
Yeah.
They are not alone.
Yeah.
But they do seem to be aware of your presence and anticipating a reunion.
Interesting.
What do you do?
Arson has loaded a slug into his shotgun and is not pointing at anything in particular, but kind of just like he's facing the building that he spotted movement in. He's got the gun like at the ready, and just trying to be watchful. And he's saying to the others, everybody, stick on your toes. I think I saw some movement over that way.
Yeah, I think there's somebody waiting for us. And like a person, somebody, not a eldritch somebody.
Wait, did you catch a sight of them?
No, it's more of a sensory thing. And I did see him in a vision earlier, but I just wanted to make sure he was here.
So is this somebody that we want to see face to face, or are we going to try to not see who or whatever this is?
Whoever it is waiting. I didn't really pick up if it was it was more of like waiting for to reunite with somebody than to like put a gun to your head, I think.
Wow.
So maybe they're trying to reunite with your new friend, Elaine.
I don't know that. I mean, I guess they're here, so that's. I can't have him. But it's in the direction of those buildings.
I mean, I'm kind of inclined to stay away from anything. Like, we're here for a gateway, not a person.
I mean,
Well, but the person might be a key to the game. If a mundane person is here, that means that they had to find a way to get here. So they might be important to finding this.
Wasn't there a person on the other side?
yeah.
Maybe they
And I'm
came in
still
here
on.
looking for us.
The only way, I mean, it's 6, technically kind of 7 of us, and one of them. I mean, that's not terrible odds.
It's also
My bigger thought
probably
is
people
we're in a
waiting.
strange environment, and right now we have no cover, so I feel very exposed right now.
Yeah, there's also something else watching us, so keep that in mind.
I kind of figure there'll always be eyes on us while we're here. I don't.
Well, then maybe we should approach. I mean, everybody get your guns out, but and be ready to fire. But I guess start approaching the tower.
Yeah.
I think it was that one that I saw the people in.
Okay.
After you, Arson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arson is taking point. He's got his gun shouldered, and he's kind of just like looking everywhere for movement, keeping an eye on a swivel.
Great. As you begin to, you arrived on a. This plane is not entirely featureless. It does have a few rolls, but to Jack's point, there aren't trees or boulders or things that would provide you with cover, so you do feel quite exposed. But heading towards the city is a bit of a decline. The dust is slipperier than you would expect. Again, although it's very, very dry, and the air here is quite thin, something about the nature of this dust is makes it treacherous underfoot. More than once, you have to stop each other from stumbling, even going down this shallow decline. As you turn towards the city, the camera cuts back to the sky as one of these swirling galaxies that has been above you blinks like a great eye, just to reinforce the fact that you're being observed. Anyway, you are not accosted on your way to the city. It is 30 minutes, an hour, without the sun, without other astronomical landmarks. It's kind of difficult to keep track of exactly what it is. This is sort of a perpetual dusk. So it's hard to know exactly how long you've been trudging. But you do find yourselves in a reasonable period of time standing at the foot or near the foot of the building that Arson pointed out.
Do you see anybody, Arson?
I don't think so. I mean, when we first came here, there was some movement, or I didn't even get a look at who or what it was, but there was something. It was the only thing that moved in all these buildings, and it was here. I've been looking. I haven't seen anything on the way up, and I don't think I can see where I saw the movement from here. We're too far down. Are there? So looking around, you said there weren't any like doors or anything. Now that we're closer, like, are we gonna have to climb up or blast our way in?
Without even a check, I will tell you that climbing is probably out of the option. While the surface of this structure is not featureless, there are no handholds. And because of its strange construction, there are plenty of areas where there's an overhang. So it effectively having to climb up a sheer cliff. And I mean, maybe with enough gear or some sort of contraption. But it seems like, and everything's too high. Like even if you could all stand on each other's shoulders, it would still be too high.
Now, are we within like arm's reach of this building, or are we a little ways off?
You tell me.
I was picturing us like maybe like 20, 30 feet away,
Sure.
like not right up on it to touch it, but close enough that we can see fine detail.
I mean, we could always just try knocking.
I mean,
Be my guest, Felix.
well, the door that we came through wasn't even really a door. It was more a ritual. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something is the same here. But, I mean, Elaine, Anna, like, I don't know if y'all are up for that. Because, I mean, we do have, Felix, you've got the dynamite, right? We could probably put a pretty big hole in this.
I mean, do we want to? Do we want to mess with whatever's inside? Because it might not be what we're looking for.
Well, we don't really have any other leads around here, so unless we just go wandering all these buildings just aimlessly. I mean, this is like this whatever this place is, whatever the inhabitants are, they don't, you know, they don't like us exactly. I mean, maybe they don't hate us, but they want to come to where we live and take over. I don't know that we really want to make friends with those forces, or if we even could.
Not saying make friends, just saying don't kick the hornet's nest if they aren't buzzing at you already.
I mean, we've clearly been here long enough for something to attack us if they wanted to. And I don't know about you guys, but I still feel watched.
Oh no, we're definitely being watched. That's not a question. That's just
yeah,
a fact.
for sure.
So at that point, if something wanted to attack us, it would have already done it. So maybe they're waiting for us to do something malicious before they attack us. Just a thought.
Yeah, and I think to Arson's point, like if we don't want to figure out a way to get inside, we don't have any other clues on where this door is. Like, we don't see any other ways forward, so it might not be the best idea we've got right now, but other than wandering around aimlessly, at least we have a direction of getting inside somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You're all in agreement. We can try.
Yeah, we don't really have anything else.
I mean, I'm not saying we start with the dynamite. We can look around and see if there's, some runes or
Felix
something.
already has it lit.
And Anna can,
to the point, there might be a ritualistic aspect to it where you have to more or less summon the door.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it without dynamite first.
Yeah, Jack will look around and see if we can find a door.
And I'll take a look and see if there are any runes or carvings or anything.
And Elaine will assist with Anna.
Sure.
Jack has another extreme success. That's a 6 under 60.
I'm say Felix just walks up and knocks on the building.
Cool.
What are we rolling?
You tell me.
Oh.
Jack was just doing a spot hidden.
Yeah.
He's just looking around looking for something.
I feel like I'll also do a spot hidden.
Okay.
I'll probably do a cult since I'm looking for
Sure.
stuff.
Signs and sigils.
Yep. Alright, I got it.
63 out of 55.
Okay. Good. Well, we have one really good and one okay. Spot hidden. We have Elaine
23 under 75 for a cult.
with a hard success. And Felix, like, I'm just going to go knock. Cool.
Arkham's Rager.
Felix, you knock. And you are expecting the solid thud of stone. But it's more like rapping against the lip of a bell. It feels metallic and warmer than the ambient temperature warm, even just in the bare moments that your knuckles are in contact. And there is a deep ringing sound that reverberates from your knuckles. Like you were just like knock, 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 and it came out as boom, 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 with a series of tones resonating out of this structure. Those of you who are looking for things that are hidden, kind of looking around the ground, etc., you notice that whatever that resonance is causing the silt to vibrate. Little puffs of gas coming up and little clouds of the silt being disturbed from the ground. Elaine, who has extended her psychic senses at this moment, in the 3 wraps where Felix makes contact with the structure, as the sound and vibration spreads, it becomes transparent to your eyes. And you do see signs and sigils. In fact, that's all it is. Please give me a sanity check.
That's a 4 under 59.
Excellent. We'll say your new friend is helping you. Or is responsive enough to kind of pull your attention away. You realize that what you are seeing is simply your mind's attempt to make order out of madness. That your perceptions are not trustworthy, and that the notion that you're standing on a dusty plain with some weird buildings is the best that your mind can do to make this seem normal, because in the brief glimpse of the reality behind it, your mind almost broke. Please take a D4 sanity.
Ew.
Which just gives you an idea how much it would be if you had failed.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is not real. At least, like,
Sure.
what we're seeing here is not what's actually here.
I
But
mean,
you
I
don't want to
touched
see
it.
what's actually here.
The reverberations of the building settle into a series of discordant tones, soon joined by another chord, if you will, coming from the nearest building. Moments later, another chord from another building. This wave of vibration is moving out and being resonated by these structures.
Either I just rung the dinner bell, or now everybody knows we're here.
I think that more or less they already knew that we were here. But I don't think we're getting in that building, so we should
I don't
maybe.
think it's a building.
It's not a building. No, it's not.
I mean, it's like it looks like
I mean, it
it's a
looks
building to
like
me.
it to. I mean, maybe it is a building to them, but it's not what you think it is.
I was gonna say it's really
it looks
warm to
pretty
the
solid.
touch.
Yeah.
Can I get a listen?
Boy.
$100 over 60.
Okay.
Jack's gonna use 5 points of luck to make that a hard success.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I got 48 over 20.
Okay. You're still a little bit dazed.
Felix failed.
What about Anna?
That was a 14 under 20.
Oh, good. Good. So, we'll say with your hard success, Jack, you hear at first, it sounds like, sometimes in the spring or fall, you'll hear like flocks of little finches up in the mountains, kind of cheeping away, or when the pine cones open to drop their seed, the little pine siskins will come in to peck away. You hear what sounds very much like a flock of birds cheeping, happy. Anna, you hear something a little bit different. You hear your name. Like maybe you notice the sound of the birds, but this building disharmony of resonance starts to form in your mind as if someone is calling to you. Someone, a man, or maybe a woman, we'll see. Flashback. Anna, tell me about the person who introduced you to the strange side of things, the mentor that we established that you had at the very beginning of session 1.
Oh, Dr. Handler?
No, this is back home in Connecticut.
Oh, what did we decide?
We didn't.
Oh.
I just said, hey, did you come on this yourself or did you have a mentor? I was like, oh yeah, I had a mentor. Cool. File it away.
I think it's probably whoever taught Anna medicine and like doctoring in general. Maybe a professor at school.
Okay. Man or woman?
Woman.
Okay. And what was her name?
Marie.
Marie what?
Watson.
Okay. Professor Watson.
Yeah.
You hear the familiar voice of Professor Watson calling to you. In that moment, you have a series of images of you lost in a book of anatomy and Professor Watson calling your name to kind of bring you back to the lesson at hand. You remember her seeing you across campus and calling your name. It's less that you're hearing her voice in those reverberations and more that the reverberations are bringing forth memories of times when she called your name. So now, in the full flashback, I would like to have a scene where you discover that Professor Watson's dabblings in the occult and eldritch were perhaps deeper and stranger than you imagined. This is perhaps one of the reasons that you left her tutelage and struck out on your own. So, where are we?
At school.
Okay.
Maybe in like the office lounge area, I guess? Or a lab, one of the two.
Her tutorial room, yeah, her offices.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what was it that gave Anna pause? What had she learned about Professor Watson?
Probably if any like human experimentation or like sacrifice was researched or used. Well, I guess not just researched, but if like used, that would definitely be like a deal breaker.
Yes. So the previous night you had unexpectedly gone to visit Professor Watson in her laboratories. You had heard strange sounds coming from a room that she had admonished you never to enter, but that she had hinted at that perhaps someday when you were ready, when your studies were more advanced, you would be prepared to understand the great advances that she was working on, but that until that time she guarded them jealously. You entered the room where you found what had been a person, but who had been changed through a series of experimental surgical procedures, warped and broken out of all recognition. The creature now, obviously badly wounded, but a face filled with gleeful madness, struggled with its bonds to rise and embrace you. The next day, you visit Professor Watson's office to confront her about what you've learned. What do you say?
What the heck? But like more intensely, that's not good. That's really bad.
Whatever are you talking about, Anna?
Pet monster experimentation, like whatever name you want to assign to it, whatever it was not anything that should be part of this world.
Now, Anna, I've warned you that you weren't ready for some of my advanced theories.
No one should ever be ready for that kind of advancement.
Well, at least you recognize it as an advancement, and you aren't wrong. My creations may not be well suited for the world today. They are advancements toward the world to come. Ways we can evolve more quickly. Surely you've read the works of Darwin that I've shared with you.
Yes, but the price that you're paying for that kind of advancement is not worth it.
And a true scientist would pay any price for discovery and advancement.
Not the cost of someone else. That's kind of selfish, if we're being honest.
My aim is to secure the future of the entire human race in the world that is to come. Surely you've realized that given our current trajectory, the rapid advancement of science and industry, that soon we will run out of resources, of forests to chop down, of coal to mine, of cheap labor to work in those forests and mines. Already we see that our lakes and streams that one used to bathe in and drink from are not fit for purpose.
But it's also not your call to decide the one and only solution to that. If it's a problem, shouldn't you, like get a group of friends and figure it out by not sacrificing other human beings for terrible advancement? I said it, terrible.
Well, Anna, I think perhaps we're not as far apart as you would believe, because building a group of friends and colleagues to help me in my great work is exactly what I've been doing.
Oh no, I didn't think you had friends.
Are we not friends, Anna?
Not anymore.
Well, that is disappointing.
What? It's not. Did you see what was in your office?
Of course.
Like, that's not the more disappointing part.
Not at all. In fact,
Wow.
it represents a great leap forward.
Listen,
If you had
need
if you had the fundamental understanding that I do, you would be able to instantly recognize what I've already achieved. And frankly, so much more to achieve. And I have to tell you that this conversation has become a distraction from my much more important works. Consider your tutelage with me complete.
Happily, because if you have to have like a different set of foundations to understand that murdering other people in cold blood for a pursuit that you don't even understand what you're dealing with is like maybe a wrong thing, then you need to sort your priorities. So I don't want to be your student.
Well,
take that.
I understand very well. And maybe one day you will too. And then you can simply hope that I'm in a forgiving mood. But I will warn you. Breathe a word of what you've seen or think you've seen, and I will see you locked away in an asylum for the rest of your life for hysteria.
Not if I see you there first.
Why did I take you under my wing? I'll never know. Well, as I said, I'm willing to pay the price of any advancement, including losing my prize pupil. You're dismissed.
Happily. Goodbye. Smell you later.
So all this occurs in a moment in Anna's head.
Oh, shit.
And you're back.
Oh, shit.
All the ladies clutch their pearls.
Wait, what? Did you see something?
Yeah, about that. Oh no, I had forgot, or I think I was made to forget. But this was a long time ago. This was before I met you guys in Denver the first time. But I remember why I'm not training under my teacher anymore. Because she's part of the occult that started this with the Mr. Twister and the sacrifices. Oh, geez, oh, heck.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, but you said you went to school out east. Like
I did. This is like, I think this is like a big brain, wide organization.
So is she in charge of the other side of the door?
I don't know if I...
Maybe that's who's here on this side of the door.
Oh no, we both said some really mean stuff last time we saw each other. I feel like she's gonna be aggro as heck.
I'm sure she'll forgive you.
there's no way it could be the same person. I mean, there's no trees, there's no food, there's nothing. Like I haven't seen a stream, any water. It's just this.
Maybe she's just powered by madness.
Well, and it's not. It doesn't necessarily mean she's here all the time. If she can come and go, but I think whatever she's creating, this like. She kept talking about advancements and all that. I think maybe they're built to sustain the lack of everything. Which is also maybe why it sucks trying to kill them.
As this
was she the one that opened the door in the first
happening,
place?
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
So this conversation is happening. Well, the camera will come back to it in a moment. Jack has stepped away from the chitter chatter for a moment so that you can keep your ears on the little flock of birds. What are you doing? I mean, you're hearing and can participate. I'm going to say that because you hear that, you've stepped a little bit away.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds very clear. So Jack is instantly confused because, honestly, for like all the reasons that Arson was just talking about, like there haven't been any signs of any life around here. So he's trying to figure out where this sound is coming from because there's nothing within eyesight. that looks like it would support bird life, as
That's
Jack knows it.
true. But you do see some little birdies. Lots of them, in fact.
Oh no.
Streaming out of the strange, irregular openings in these resonating buildings. Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger than a chickadee. Gaunt, humanoid, shiny black, membranous wings sprouting from their misshapen backs. You think you can even hear the flapping of those wings and the snapping of those tendons in this thin air. You hear the continued cheeping begin to accelerate its cadence.
Jack lets out an expletive and runs back to the group and says, "Guys, we need to move somewhere now."
Where?
Why?
There is a flock of something coming towards us.
Yeah, we should move.
Is it something like, can you Arson is unloading the shells and loading birdshot.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you can all see them once Jack calls your attention to them. So cinematically, that conversation was happening, and you're kind of talking back and forth and hypothesizing about, I wonder if how deeply she's involved, etc. And then we see Jack kind of, guys, partners, you might want to look up. There are certainly hundreds, possibly thousands.
Bruh.
How big are they? Are they like, are we talking like to our eyes normal size, or are they just more like small children?
Oh, no, bigger than that.
Love that.
Gaunt, oddly jointed.
Let's run.
Yeah.
Which direction?
I think just away.
Yeah, pick one.
Probably not the way that we came and away from them. So
I mean, can we go in the building?
I don't think it's a building.
It's
There are
spell.
It looks like a building to me.
that's it's supposed to.
And you're just gonna bounce off of it.
Look, let's just get moving, and then maybe we can find somewhere to hide while we're running. And I'm gonna run.
I mean, yeah, Elaine, you do have some insight, and you have more insight into how this place works or what it actually is.
Yeah.
And you understand that it's made up of strange signs and sigils, which is, although they themselves are unfamiliar and very disturbing to you, it's not utterly unfamiliar. The concept, anyway. I mean, you know how to deal with signs and sigils. So, but just the decision is that everyone's running. Is everyone running in the same direction, or is it scatter time?
Same direction.
Yeah, same direction.
Roughly the
Cool.
same direction.
Maybe. Give me a sanity check.
Oh boy.
This couldn't possibly go bad.
Huh?
I'm doing
A
great. I got
7 out of 37.
13 out of 57.
Well done.
8 out of 64.
Well done.
Nice.
89 over 49.
Perfect.
13 under
Arson.
66.
Good.
47 over 38.
Lovely. So, let's see. I think everyone just takes one. And if you fail, just take 2. It's less about, I mean, certainly you're becoming slightly more mad every moment that passes while you're here. However, this was less about if you're going to go completely insane, and more about how compos mentis you are in terms of running in the same direction as everyone else. So, Anna, Jack, Elaine, and Felix take off. I'm going to say kind of back in the direction that you came because just instinctively you've been there and you didn't see any threats. I think because they are kind of the ship that we've all been shipping, Arson and Minnie, or the other ship that we've been shipping, the counter ship, because we've been shipping Anna and Elaine, and then but Minnie thinks that Anna and Arson are together. It's this whole soap opera thing. It's very Pretty Little Liars. Anyway, so but Minnie probably chases after Arson, and if nothing else, then to protect your investment and your invention. So Minnie and Arson run deeper into this city while the rest run away. I also need a con roll from everyone. This is to help me understand what your speed is at this moment.
28 under 70.
I
Well
also
done.
got 28, but under 60.
Okay, still well done. Hard successes.
53 over 50.
Okay.
You said this was con?
Yeah.
Okay. 12 out of 50.
Oh, well done. Arson and Minnie. I don't.
22 under 70.
Okay. And Minnie.
8 under 50. I gotta protect that light, yo. Let's go.
Well done. Well done. And we moved 9s. You're all 8s and 9s for movement. So when the necessity arises, you're able to kick up your heels and move quite quickly. I'm going to say, Jack, you are delayed by the fact that as everyone else takes off and you're running with them, you stop to look back to see how close this flock is. And you see Arson and Minnie running in the opposite direction. So you pause for a minute and call out to them to try to direct them back. And that's why you're the laggard.
I agree with that. That is definitely something Jack would do. Especially since Arson's the one with the buckshot.
So 4 or 5 of these creatures descend out of the sky toward you. Faces smooth, like skin pulled taut over a skull, but a skull of strange proportions. Fingers, talons really, with more joints than they ought to have, held out in front towards you. As they attack, would you like to dodge or fight back?
Absolutely fight back.
Well,
Jack is going to dodge.
This is Jack. Yeah.
Back, never mind.
Okay.
9 under 44.
So a hard success. Not quite. It's hard success, but not quite an extreme success.
Yeah, not quite extreme.
Cool. All right. Well, you are the defender. So they don't quite land and try to rake at your clothing. One of those razor sharp claws cuts across your chest. I mean, it's got a little bit of blood, but it's not like a wound. But it does snap one of your suspenders, parting the worn leather like butter. And they wheel up. Another couple join them. And they return for another flyby. What is everyone doing?
I think Felix, after seeing one actually take a strike at Jack, I think he would probably chamber one of the special rounds that Elaine put together for me and pop one off.
All right.
Just gotta see what it does, at least in here.
So Felix is firing. Arson, just keep it running.
Is gonna fire as soon as they're within range.
So we'll say that you heard Jack yell, and that was enough to kind of turn you around and realize, oh crap, we're running in the opposite direction. And you see these flapping man-sized shapes starting to dance around him. And you got a rifle, yes? No, you got your shotgun.
I got a shotgun.
Well, I'm going to say by the time that you figure out what's going on and slow down, another couple of them have peeled off the flock and are heading toward you. So you won't be without targets. What is Anna doing?
I will also shoot.
Pulls out your little gun.
Yeah.
Elaine, Minnie, Jack.
Jack continues trying to dodge and not die.
Okay.
I assume I accidentally Akira slide past Arson for a second, but he suddenly stops. And I'll turn around. I have a gun. I'll shoot a thing.
Okay, you can. Yeah, there are certainly several of them that are coming within range of you and Arson. Elaine.
Well, I know sigils and signs, and these ones might be a little weird, but I want to see if I can get the buildings to resonate at a different frequency and see if that drives these things away.
Interesting. So I'm going to call for a hard occult, and be aware that succeed or fail, there may be a significant cost to your sanity.
Okay.
So let's get the shooting.
I got a 16 under 95.
Well done. And that is with one of the Inspelled.
Special abilities. Yes.
Excellent. Roll 2d8 for me, please.
And I got
Sorry.
a 30.
2d8. Because what is your weapon? Normal weapon damage? Isn't it 1d8?
D10.
D10. All right, roll 2d10.
$31 under 80.
All right. Roll your damage.
How close are they? Are they
they're
10, 20, or 50 yard ranges?
Yard, I'm going to say by the time you take a beat on them at 50, they're 20.
Okay. So that's 2d6.
I mean, and you can wait until they're at 10, but
No, I'm
that's
not
pretty
going to
close.
wait.
They're moving fast.
10 damage. That's
Well
with the
done.
modifier.
Well done.
6.
All right. Anyone
got it.
else who hits, go ahead and do your damage.
Yeah. That's a 9 or 11 plus 2. It's 11.
Ooh.
Damage.
Well done. So. And Minnie, did you do damage? Or did you hit?
Sorry, just 1 sec.
And then we'll resolve Elaine in a second. So, Arson, you are pleased to see that your weapon appears to wound this thing. Felix, you are pleased to see that the enchantment that Elaine laid on your bullet is extremely successful. There's a flash of that blue light as part of the creature that was just diving for Jack just kind of is blown off. It crashes to the earth maybe 15, 20 yards away as it kind of rolls and tumbles, still cheeping in this sort of piteous way. You see others of its fellows immediately drop out of the sky and pounce on it and rip it to shreds. as if they plan to eat it, which is strange as they have no mouths. So there's some disarray around Jack, who is busy doing his best not to be attacked. Go ahead and give me a dodge with advantage. So that is roll your 10s twice and pick the one that you want.
Well, I'm going to pick the one I rolled first, so then that's a 5 under 44.
Ooh, lovely. Yes. You crouch down low. You don't really have any cover, but with the distraction and the wounding of several of them, you are able to stay out of their grasp and probably move closer to the rest of your group just for safety in numbers.
Yeah, I'm imagining with, all of the chaos and the gunfire, there's a little bit of like diving and rolling, like crab crawling over towards where Felix is.
Yes.
Or at least in that direction.
Elaine, let's resolve your impromptu use of magic.
All right.
Oh, and for my shot, I got an 8 out of, what do we use, Dex?
Use firearms. Fire
Firearms.
handguns or rifle, depending upon what your gun is.
Yes, I got an 8 out of 50.
Ooh, very well done.
And then the damage was 6.
Excellent. It's probably more like 12 because that was a hard success or extreme success, right? Because that was under 20%. Yeah.
Yep.
So Minnie, who's not that great with guns, just draws a B. What kind of gun are you using?
It is a 44 Colt.
So it's
Army.
a pistol. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll say that the one that Arson wings wheels away and is immediately replaced by another that kind of has to dodge out of the way of that one and is coming straight forward towards you. And maybe it's something about the light that you're still thinking about that keeps you calm. Like, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is I can just go be in the light forever. And just very calmly pull your hand up, aim right between where its eyes would be if it had eyes, and boom. You drop it. Well done. A couple down, 1,000 to go. Okay, Elaine.
Okay. So hard roll is what again?
You have to roll half or below.
Okay. So I got a 21 under 75.
Oh, very well done. So 21 under whatever that would be.
Like
30.
38.
Yeah. So not a hard success within that hard success, but you certainly made it. So what is suitable for intentionally peering into the madness that underlies reality in an attempt to bend it to your own will? Roll a d20.
Boy. 14.
Take 14 sanity. And who all's in a position to see Elaine? I guess everyone, really.
I mean, yeah.
In theory. I mean, she starts chanting. It attracts enough attention. Anyone is in a position to kind of glance around and look at her. Elaine changes. Elaine elongates with sickening stretching sounds and snapping and cracking. Elaine looks at you all, but doesn't see you. Something alien inside her gazes at you, not even in curiosity, but maybe a bit of hunger. We'll resolve the 14 sanity loss here in a second. However, what is it in that moment, in that split second, you can command the underlying mathematics of this place. You can insert your own constants or variables into this strange, mad, but there is an order to it. You'd be hard pressed to call it logic in any human sense, but there are rules. And for just a moment, you understand them as blood begins to leak, or something begins to leak out of your ears.
Cool.
What are you looking to accomplish?
Kind of like I said, I just want to push these things away from it, like repel them, make them go away, and safeguard the area that we're in. So sort of a counter reverberation, just sound wave, and
Yes.
send them back.
And that moment you realize that sound isn't really a sound, right? It's just how your human minds are interpreting it. What it actually is a cascading set of chaotic variables going into the equations of this place. So you create a counter variable such that the equations return not just a null, but an undefined, dividing 0 by 0. Everyone who can see Elaine needs to give me a sanity check for sure.
Uh, 38 under 63.
Okay. Take D4.
43 out of 36.
Oh, take D8.
30 out of 36.
Oh, good. Take D4.
1 under 47.
Ooh, wow. You know what? That's an awesome roll. Take 1.
67 over 65.
No. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. 67 over what?
65.
Take D8. So that gives me inspiration with that 1. Just like your 100 changes things, the 1 does too. What begins to flow out of Elaine, this alteration of the constants of this universe that begins to flow from Elaine out into the surroundings, just parts around Arson. So it's not only that you witness it, right? So you take a little bit of sanity, but you, unlike everyone and everything else, are unaffected because there is this glow. And once again, you can see, and before it was just kind of up the side of your face, now it's all over. This beautiful radium glow responds to this change and protects you. That's good. That's good, right? Yeah, so.
I took 4, by the way.
Good. Did anyone take more than 5? 5 or more, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Anna's going to go crazy again.
Yay!
Yay! It took 6.
Good.
Yeah.
Ooh, beautiful. I'm going to say you regress.
Oh no.
You, in this moment of seeing this place as it really is, you realize how deeply out of your depth you are. And your recent recollection of those conversations with Professor Watson, who assured you that there was a plan and pattern. If only you understood enough, you would be able to see it really resonate within you. And you begin to believe that perhaps she was right. Perhaps there's something that you don't understand. Perhaps you judged her unfairly. Because if this is what the world or a world is really like, maybe a few little experiments aren't really that big a deal. So you feel in that moment a bit as you did when you were first learning and you were enamored of Professor Watson and all the other students and professors who seem to know so much more than you. And even though it's a bit horrific, you are curious to learn more. So, in a sphere, well, I don't know, a mile. What's a mile? But there's this just rippling change as the reality that you perceive begins to unwind itself. Everyone gets that same glimpse into what's really here. Now, not everyone has the same kind of occult sensitivities that Elaine does, so you don't necessarily interpret it fully. It's just like neural shock to you. Your brains just refuse to interpret it. But you do have the impression of the world around you just unraveling into this chaotic soup for just a moment, and then whoop, this field collapses back around Elaine, and everyone is just drenched as these creatures become formless. This black, almost furry seeming ooze that splats down around you. What happens?
It just kind of flicks it off of him. Kind of like, ugh, I already want to go home.
Yeah, Anna's just gonna plop down and take a seat and just kind of rub her forehead.
Yeah, Jack just breathes heavily for a little bit.
Arson I think, has not moved from where he was when he like saw the Eldritch Matrix for what it really was for a split second. And I think what happens is he starts like looking at his hand as he's like thinking, like he's looking around, he's looking at like the buildings, the shapes on the buildings, he's looking at the hand and the glow, and like he's not even really thinking about the like muck that he is suddenly wet with, but what he does is he channels his will towards the hand yet again and lights it up. Like there was something he recognized on some level that there was like some kind of not necessarily protective effect, but it wasn't like he's latching on to the nearest safe thing that he can think of, and right now that is the radium light, and he is attempting to light up his hand.
Do it.
That is a occult roll, I think. Where's the rules for this?
I'm not gonna lie, Minnie's probably also like, yeah, light. I love the light. Love seeing you trying to make the light glow. I'm just gonna walk up behind you and like put a hand on your shoulder and like look at your hand.
25 under 70, so that's a success.
Well done.
And I'm spending my my magic point.
Lovely. So, how to describe this? You can see this strange world around you, this mostly featureless plain, now dotted with slowly writhing masses as some of them start to kind of join together. But at the same time, in the glow of Arson's hand, you see a tree and a rock. They seem to only exist where the light falls on them directly. You look around and you see a rabbit appear out of nowhere. Imagine a sphere of this blue light around you, appear at the edge of this sphere and hop through slightly translucent grass. Stop for a moment, twitch its little whiskers, kind of look vaguely in your direction, and then rapidly scoot away. You can almost feel a breeze. Refreshing. You go to breathe it in, but you can't quite, it's like you can't quite get it in your lungs, but you're so close. It's this strange superposition of this alien landscape and more familiar features revealed by your hand. Minnie, go ahead and give me, curious about your interpretation, go ahead and give me science, occult. It's all kind of the same thing, to be honest. Or you can, argue for some other check. But I think science makes the biggest.
All right.
makes the most sense.
Science. Optics? I have 2 science. But either way, I got 25 out of either 50 or 60, so.
Good. So hard success either way. I think optics maybe makes the most sense because this is related to how your camera functions. Excellent. So it occurs to you that just like when you're on the other side, how your camera can reveal or enable you to peer kind of into the edges of this other world or other worlds, it makes perfect sense to you that from this side, that effect might enable you to briefly glimpse the living, normal world. I think this expands your understanding. Clearly, an opportunity to advance that skill, but maybe start your mind thinking about, well, that's interesting. Maybe there's something useful there. Elaine, you don't like the light. It's poisonous. Everyone sees as Elaine shies away out of this circle of light. And you can still see her outside that. But as she leaves that circle of light, the normal features are again subsumed under this strange mutated version. Elaine reaches into her own head. Just like this. And you can see the flesh, like the eyes begin to droop to one side or the other. As she reaches, fingers, all the knuckles, palm, thumb, wrist deep, maybe a bit further into her own head, and begins to pull. The head bulges elastically, and with a sickening pop, Elaine pulls out a stag's skull and places it on her head as a mask. Then strides over to the building and reaches up with one of these elongated hands into the wall and just peels it open. turns to face you all. And there's a moment where she gazes at you, this little specks, glowing embers in the hollows of the skull eyes, and then the skull seems to sink back into her flesh. You are certainly worse for wear, Elaine, but you're no longer an NPC.
Yay! I'm alive.
You're 14 sanity down, but you're back under your own control.
You know, it worked.
Yeah. It totally fine. You're going to be a very interesting person.
You're muted, babe, but yeah, I don't know about that one either.
So this is the point where Anna falls in love with Elaine, right?
I don't know about that one, Chief.
This is the point where Jack unscrews the top of his flask and takes a very long drink.
Yeah.
Everybody always says that they're like down to get with a monster until you actually turn into a monster, and then all of a sudden it's like, ah! You pulled the skull out of your head. That's creepy.
And when I said I was looking for someone who was like, an animal in the sheets, I wasn't talking about like a dead animal. So, wow. Cool. Well, now what happens?
Well, there's the door. Guess it's time to go in.
Good, we found it. That was nice and convenient and normal.
The edges of this hole are buzzing with just the raw reality of this place. Makes you avert your eyes, lest they break your mind further.
So we just need to go through it and close it? Or close it from this side?
Oh, that was just a hole in the wall of this building.
Oh, it's just a hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not the door.
Oh.
No, we just made a door into the building.
Well, that's not helpful.
It's helpful for getting inside.
Yeah, I told you it's a door. It's a building, so it's a door.
It's a bell.
It's a particularly resonant building. They built it well.
Like a bell.
Yeah, they built it bell.
The piles and puddles of gooey but yet somehow still dry and powdery ick continue to congeal together.
We should probably get away from that stuff, whatever that stuff is.
Yeah, I think we should go inside the bell thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who was in the Tillman house when you found the man on the ceiling will recognizes what the substance is.
Oh, is it the black mold, but it's not mold? The stuff that the oil breathed and it's probably bad for us?
Yeah.
It means we're on the right track, maybe.
Yeah. Hey, if any of y'all have any like cuts or anything, like you should probably make yourselves throw up. Like, I've got some booze here. Like, I'm sure we could get y'all throwing up soon. But like, don't breathe that stuff. Don't get that stuff in wounds.
Erthos is busy rubbing down the cut on his chest.
Yeah, Jack is trading off between like drinking, rubbing the wound, drinking, rubbing the wound, and moving towards the door.
Okay.
Are you okay? Do you need any? Like, is it bad? I could have bandages.
He didn't
I
take
mean,
any
I
wounds.
could use a shower, but otherwise I'm okay.
Yeah, he didn't take any harm.
Okay. Just making sure.
Purely cosmetic.
Yeah.
No worse
It's
than a paper
flesh
cut.
wound. You'll be fine. It'll give you like a cool story to talk to the girls in the bar about.
maybe a really
No, I can't tell this story to anybody. Nobody will
I mean-
believe me.
You'll be a world famous author one day.
Just write it off as science fiction, and you're good.
Just say that you got attacked by a bear.
Oh yeah, we did. We started this because we were gonna go hunting for bears. So yeah.
Yeah, the worst fishing trip
was a-
ever by Jack.
Just remember us kindly.
so.
As we make our
sorry.
way over to the building, I assume my hand is still glowing. Does it have any like weird interactions with the building?
Sort of. I mean, what's most noticeable is that as you're moving through, you see grasses blowing in a breeze that you can't really feel, and you see like where that tower is, there's maybe a small copse of trees, so you see like phantom almost branches breaching the wall. But as you get closer, it's almost like an optical illusion, but it's almost like the tower bends away ever so slightly. Or like there's a lensing effect where it just seems to distort a bit. But it doesn't change. It's affected, but it doesn't alter it significantly.
Minnie, is this I mean, it's not a problem if I keep this on, right?
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay. It's a okay.
Oh, you cut off.
Let me know if I need to turn it.
Oh, I'll monitor the light, make sure it's okay.
Okay.
She stares at it.
Sussy.
Right. Like, well, if radium can do this, imagine what uranium could do.
I just imagine Minnie just as the meme, I love lamp.
Yeah, this is I was just about to type.
Well done.
Nicely. Lamp.
So, it's not what I would call a stairway. But the interior is climbable. There are sinew-like structures that kind of connect randomly from wall to wall. It's not quite the scale and regularity of like a ladder or a spiral staircase, but it is easily climbable, assuming that you don't have to deal with anything untoward or that might distract you or put you under distress. You're under no threat of falling. And the only direction is up.
Well, I guess we go up.
Oh. You said there's no handrails or anything.
Oh.
Should probably like somewhat tie each other off here just in case if something happens. Because I have a feeling that these stairs will not stay in the same spot.
Maybe.
My worry there is if one falls.
There's 5 of us holding the other one person up.
So we all just hold on, like maybe make little handles to hold on to rather than tied to each other, or what do we?
Sounds like a rope use to me.
Yeah, I would say just rip each other off. I mean, just always through like a belt loop or something. Just something.
And who is good at rope use?
Yeah. It looks
I
like
might be
arson.
fast.
Yeah, I think it's probably
I
arson.
think the rest of us are all 5.
Yeah, which is a 20 is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And this is, I'm going to say this is easy. You're not trying to do anything particularly
We
special
also
with
have
it.
stuff.
Yeah, and we do have boons.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
bones.
It takes a while. Is like, and it's not jumble of like rope that comes apart as soon as you put any weight on it. But eventually he gets what he thinks a pretty good like rope line rigged up, and that is a 7 under 20.
Oh, well done. Well, it's actually technically 7 under 40 because it's easy. So very well, which is not quite 20%, right?
No,
But it's
30
still
or
it's a
40
hard
something.
it's a hard success. So yeah, it's perfectly, it's not elegant by any means because you aren't trying to do anything elegant, but it's perfectly serviceable and will provide you with benefits should you need to rely on it. So up you go.
We go.
Up we go.
It's very disconcerting. So as you climb, Arson, as soon as the sphere of light that you're giving off leaves the ground and a little bit above, like the kind of tops of these trees, you don't really get, there's no phantom images until like a bird flies in very quickly, very close to your face, and you flinch a little bit. So it's still, that effect is still present with you. There's just, obviously you're above ground level, so there's less to interact with. But it does appear to be working. And again, you have that sense that as you're climbing up this narrow tower, it's like it's trying to bow out of the way, bulge in an almost organic way.
Like I can't decide if it's right next to me or if it's a mile.
Yeah, you reach for a handhold, and it's almost like the handhold is further away than it seems. Like you got new glasses and you're trying to recalibrate, but it's like you can kind of catch it moving. So it's very, it's slightly dizzy making. But you climb and climb and climb until you reach a sphincter. A sort of organic opening. And however, there's enough of this husk or other substance that you're able to maneuver yourselves up, still tied together, important, into a lovely study. Wooden desk, a bench with a bubbling retort, books strewn here and there, moth-eaten leather seat, wall plastered with papers covered in calculations. Anna, this is familiar. This room it's not the same room. It's almost like a recreation or it's like a stage set, because you can still see the curving walls of this structure. You can see above maybe 20 feet where you would expect the ceiling to be one of these strangely shaped openings. But in this like narrow box, there's this sense of reality or normality. Your eyes are drawn to a well-worn leather book left carelessly open. You just kind of instinctively, your fingers trace the spine. You recognize it as a familiar text from your education. And as you often had to do for Professor Watson, you pick the book up and close it so that the spine doesn't break.
Irresponsible as always. What a teacher. But
Living here?
can I... And all the calculations are just like kind of up everywhere?
Yeah.
Is it calculations like about this place, or is it general stuff, random?
Interdimensional metaphysics.
Huh.
I don't think that's a skill that you've put a lot of points into.
No.
You could roll spot hidden maybe, or luck. You could try. You could try science biology. It would be hard. Anyone can try Cthulhu Mythos.
Sure.
My science biology is a 70, so even with a hard,
Yeah,
might roll
35.
that.
Yeah, you might get
Might
something.
could try.
Yeah.
I have a 0 in Cthulhu Mythics, so it's not even
Yeah, well, that's actually a good thing. That's a sign of
Jack has
accomplishment
a
if you've been through
failure
this.
on that.
Yeah, we'll have to adjust that after the session because you're learning whether you like it or not.
I got a 6.
Wow. So the vast majority you don't understand because it's a different discipline, but you do pick up some sketches and some chemical formula and some anatomical sketches and some chemical formula that you recognize as such, but they are at the edge of what you understand. Perhaps it occurs to you, if you had not been such a child and had stuck with the kind and wise Professor Watson, you would understand this.
I guess I am kind of having a moral dilemma.
Well, and you also are still suffering the effects of insanity.
Yeah.
So there's
I feel
that.
like Anna's kind of mumbling under her breath to herself, like, just along the lines of like, oh, it makes sense now. Or like, I wonder what she's uncovered since I last saw her. And kind of like there's like a lot of curiosity. Probably more than there was before. Like a morbid fascination with it. And keep looking through the notes.
What is everyone else doing?
So it's like, she here, is this her place right now? Or is this just like pulled from a fragment of your memory or something?
That's a great question. I'm assuming this is just here. I don't know. That she
Yeah.
kind of like remade it here. Just, I mean, it's the way she's always kept her studies, just a different room.
Jack's just kind of poking around.
Yeah, I think it'd be looking
Same.
to see if we could find where she is, if she's here, or if this seems closer to the door that
Click,
we're
click,
looking
clack.
for. Oh,
Shuffle, rustle. Click, clack, click, clack, clack, click. Echoing. Hard to pinpoint.
Can I do a listen to see exactly where it's coming from, or is it just so echoey in here that it?
A listen is a good way of seeing if you can pinpoint when it's difficult.
I want to try too.
Jack will do the same.
Same.
Cool.
31 under 45.
I love listening also. And I got 10 out of 25.
Oh, well
I
done.
don't love listening.
Hard success for Jack, 28 under 60.
Ah, good.
82 over 20.
And I got a 30
I'm just gonna go
over
sit on the
20.
couch.
Yeah.
My head's still ringing a little bit.
Yeah,
from the
Elaine
whole-
is still a little of two minds, shall we say?
Yeah.
Anna's distracted. It makes perfect sense. Most people, so cinematically, we hear this. We kind of hear most people kind of cock their heads, and then everyone very slowly kind of gazes up. Jack, with that hard success, instinctively tucks and rolls away as Professor Watson appears. dropping out of the shadows on her many legs. Well, they're not really legs if they're spreading out of your torso, are they? Appendages.
Bonus limbs.
She is held aloft by these bony and yet clearly very dexterous appendages that seem to be fused to her breastbone, spine, ribs, shoulder blades, ending in, they're covered in flesh down to a point, and then there's kind of a raw oozing area as a spike of bone makes contact with the wood of this study. She's dressed quite well, much as you remember. Apron on to protect her clothing from the errant splash of a chemical experiment. And as she drops down, she is wiping her hands on a cloth. Some vague ichor transferring, and then she tosses it away. And then she rapidly scuttles directly up to Anna and looks down on you. Welcome. I see your studies have advanced since we met last. And then she whirls around and looks at Arson. Specifically Arson's hand. And the light of the radium in your hand kind of catches in her eyes, and there's a milkiness to it, almost like a older
Cataracts.
pet, right, with cataracts, right? And it's almost like that glow fills her eyes entirely. And she lurches a step toward you. And you just
I
hear
step
her.
in front of Arson's hand.
Yes. You just hear her, yes. Yes, that will do nicely.
Speaking of advancements, you look different.
I thought you disapproved of my experimentations, Anna. Have you come to apologize? Have you come to join me? I think I could find a role for you, or at least advocate for you to the masters.
Well, I'm still crazy, and conflicted, but there's hesitance, and Anna's like, what? Well, maybe I was a little hasty. You know, I hate to admit I'm wrong, but probably.
Well, let no one say that Marie Watson holds a grudge. And I have to give you some degree of credit for finding your way here, surviving the wonders of this place, and bringing me exactly what I need.
Well, I didn't really bring you anything. I know you always said it was rude to show up empty-handed, but...
There. And she just sort of pats your shoulder in a very maternal way.
Anna,
Here, let me show you. And one of these bony appendages wraps around your waist and hoists you up in the air as she scuttles over to a wall and begins to very excitedly explain just madness. No one understands what she's saying, but she's saying it with conviction. Do you see? Do you see? Look deeper, the pattern in the numbers. Do you see it? Does it speak to you?
I'll take a look.
I mean, you're crazy, but it's more, I think what you're suffering on more is the need to please her as you would a teacher. Not that you suddenly understand this madness. Do you see the nexus of transformation? Do you understand the glory of revelation and destruction? Do you
I
see that in
do.
surrender we are changed? In consumption we can live forever. All we must do is give ourselves to the flood. Become
I
part
do
of its
see.
hunger. It offers so many gifts. It changes all those it touches.
Is that what happened to you?
I am but a humble servant, chosen among the millions to act as agent of the flood.
Oh,
Which
did they
Bring
have you
about
open a?
judgment.
Did they have you open a door?
Yeah, that's how I got here. Was the door? Is that how you got here?
There are
Is that being chosen?
many
I mean,
ways.
we just kind of just walked in.
There are many ways. Thin places that you can squeeze through. But what we need is a
doors.
more substantial, larger opening. Something to bridge the hateful world we know and the glory of the flood.
Is that what you were chosen to do? Build a bridge? That's what all the numbers are?
You always were one of my favorite students. Look how bright you are. And here, do you see the missing piece? It's a series of equations and sketches. You're not quite sure what it is. But you do see a sketch of a rock of some sort with lines almost suggesting that it's glowing.
Oh, that's what you need? Oh no. You see, it's all back at home.
She just turns, and again, as her face moves fully into the glow of Arson's radium hand, that same milky blueness covers her eyes.
I'll also like try to direct her attention away from the hand or step. But is she still holding me? I feel like
Yeah.
a child.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to try to distract her or otherwise influence her, that's going to be a fast talk.
Yeah. Sure.
What is everyone else doing? I know Minnie interposed herself between the professor and Arson because she wants the hand and the wonders it contains all to herself.
Yes.
Someone's trying to take your lamp.
Jack's trying to listen in and see if this gal is like legitimately just crazy, or if she is just like
Psychology.
a special kind of madness.
Yeah.
And then maybe help Anna with the fast talk if he thinks that
Yeah.
she can be reasoned with. 33 under 55 on the psychology.
Yes to both. She's utterly brilliant and completely insane, but the insanity does not prevent her from being effective. Like, you don't understand what she's talking about, but she clearly does, and your instinct tells you that she knows what she's talking about, even though she's obviously a homicidal maniac.
I would say Felix would probably be moving slowly around the room to kind of get behind her to give us a kind of a vantage. At least something out of her line of sight. Something else to worry about.
We'll see if that works on the basis of... And Jack, is there a way that you can think of to help Anna with that information?
Yeah, I think what Jack would do is, because he knows he's a better talker than Anna is, but he also knows that he knows next to nothing than even Anna. So like this gal's a whole nother level above him. He just kind of is going to play up like how fascinated he is and how like he looks to Anna for guidance and like anything that helps Anna learn more and become better. Like he wants to support that.
Smart.
Really just kind of like feeding her ego to help Anna kind of get more information for the group.
And
A new student.
yes, and I'm going to say Anna is playing a black sheep prodigal student, which probably helps you some. So go ahead and give me a fast talk.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it's not really worth full advantage. I'm going to say, oh God, your fast talk is so high anyway, but I'm going to say increase it by 10.
Okay. I am going to use a few points of luck so that I can succeed.
Cool.
I
We
rolled a
have minor
68.
boons if you want to spend one.
Oh, yeah,
Save
I'll
your
just
luck.
use a minor boon.
Yeah, spend a minor boon.
Yeah.
Cool. So that gets you a regular success, right?
Yes, regular success on the fast talk.
Wonderful. So, Professor Watson gives a kind of knowing glance at Anna and kind of waggles her eyebrows. Well, isn't he charming? And then moves over to Jack, and at this point is going to set you down, Anna, and kind of shoo you over to stand next to Jack. As Jack says,
I've looked forward to, everything Anna's taught me. This is definitely something that she seems interested in, and, she keeps on going on and on about how amazing you are. Really, if you could just do something to help us out and really help connect the dots for Anna, I'm sure Anna would love to help you out, and, we could help each other.
well, it's really simple. The key to reopening the gate is the thing that created the hole to begin with. You see, nature doesn't like vacuums or holes or portals into much better dimensions. Tends to want to seal it up, hide it away, almost like growing a scar over a wound. Millennia ago, something wondrous fell from the skies, ripping a hole in the very earth itself, but due to the strange nature of this substance, also ripping a hole in reality, letting all sorts of wonders loose into our mundane and dreary world. But over time, and with the interference of ignorant mortals, the rift was sealed. But it's still there, in theory. I've been trying, and with some outside assistance, working to create a stable portal, open on both ends. What I haven't been able to find is the right key to fully unlock the portal so that we can bring the blessings of the flood to everyone everywhere. You know, Anna, how I always spoke about how we women in science suffer for our brilliance, that the most we can hope for as success is to discover something truly meaningful and then have a man take credit for it. That most, if not all of us, will be forgotten. That the names of the theorems and the species and the processes that are discovered will be named according to the men who take the credit, not the women who do the work. I will be remembered for this. And
I agree. I don't think I will ever forget you.
no, you won't. Nor will anyone else. And Anna, I am magnanimous. Would you like to live forever? Would you like to finally get the credit that you're owed as a scientist? Would you like to make a mark on the world that no one can deny or overwrite?
That does sound like the whole package. Kinda. Oh god, I'm gonna panic. What do I have to do? What do I have to sign something? Is it like a contract? Like a 2-year payment plan?
Well, all you have to do is give yourself to the flood.
Oh no.
So, what is this key that you are exactly trying to find?
Uh,
She glances over in Minnie and Arson's direction, then looks at Minnie in the eyes for the first time and says, she knows.
Arson is like standing behind Minnie, and they're doing like Minnie's trying to cover, like get in front, and he's just.
I actually assume that Minnie is shorter than you, so it's mostly effective at covering your hand and nothing much else.
Minnie's like jumping up or like holding out your skirts, like you're trying to hide him. Not super effective. No, she's onto it.
Yeah.
And clearly
Now,
finds it amusing.
Is there like paperwork scattered around this room,
Oh, yeah.
like multiple desks? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start walking over to some of the paperwork and just kind of start going through it and just making a rustle and just kind of making a mess of everything. Kind of, again, kind of like behind her, just to more distraction.
As soon as you make enough noise, her head swivels about 120 degrees with a popping sound. And she looks at you and then sees what you're doing and just kind of shrugs, probably says men under her breath.
yeah,
And goes back to it.
Right? So I've thought about it. And like, can I do like a trial run first? Like, do I have to accept the flood immediately? Or can I just hang out, help you out, like get some stuff done?
I tell you what, always such an inquisitive mind. Let's think of this as an experiment, shall we? You accept the flood, then if you change your mind after, no harm, no foul.
See, I just
Or I can start slaughtering all of your friends, starting with the pretty talker right here that you seem so fond of.
funny story. We've had like 3 conversations, but I still care about them and don't want you to kill them. So...
Well, you know how I feel. Sometimes you have to drag people into the future, not wait for them to come to the conclusion themselves.
Hey.
Sometimes it's the kindest thing that you can do. So I'm telling you now.
And I'm telling you now that I just wanted to do like a trial run first.
All right.
But, all right.
Yes, a trial run of accepting the flood.
That doesn't sound like a trial run, Murray. Anyway, I feel like the negotiations are slowly starting to deteriorate.
So out of character real quick, or
Yes.
just so I understand the situation. Marie knows that I know something about this gate in general. Is that part of the light vision? Do I, or
Would you interpret it that way?
yes.
I think your sense is that they're not completely unrelated. She seems very focused on what you've been able to accomplish with Arson's hand. And probably your camera, although she hasn't seen you use it, so probably doesn't know about it. So your guess is that she's thinking about Arson's hand. It's purely in your mind that there's so much more potential in unleashing the energy trapped within certain types of materials in very specific sorts of, and in some cases, extremely destructive and radioactive ways.
Yeah.
Like it's you maybe get a sense of this lady is obviously smart but crazy, and maybe she's not thinking big enough.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, if you want to rip a hole in things, I can totally do that. But you do think that what she has in mind is to use your creation to assist her efforts. And probably not in a way that's super friendly.
Probably not. All right. I was just wondering if the power of the flood would help me in my goals, but I'm looking at it, it's probably not.
So
I'm not going to intervene in this. I'm just going to be like,
But you consider it. It's like, well, maybe if I give myself to the flood, I can build the atom bomb faster.
Yeah.
Cool. This is what madness does to you. Awesome. So Anna, she grabs you with one of these spidery legs again, roughly at first, and then with another. And she pulls you close to her, and she looks deep into your eyes, and you see that out of the corner of her eyes and out of one of her nostrils and flowing over her lips, over her slightly parted mouth, is this black, viscous, and yet somehow dusty substance. It streams slightly down her face, maybe an inch, before it begins to pull away, reaching in tendrils toward you. What do you do? Hold still, dear. This will only take a moment. And then I won't have to kill all of your friends.
Oh. I feel like I still don't believe her, because it's gonna be like always the half truth where she leaves you guys alive and then she like chops Arson's hand off and uses it to unleash a bridge. That sounds awful. So, Anna at first will like with one hand just reach up and cup her face because it's also sad. It's her mentor who's become like this crazy monster, and she's like, oh, this wasn't how I wanted us to meet again. And then I want to shoot her.
You can certainly try.
Yeah.
Great. I am going to need you. Oh,
On your
dear.
magic bombs.
There's that. You said shoot, but I don't mind table talk.
I mean, Jack will definitely try and shoot as well once he sees Hannah do her thing.
Because I feel like it's like the subtle, like, oh, with one hand she's caressing her face, and then the other hand's coming around with the gun.
Cool.
She'll even lean in a bit, like, oh, they're
Like,
totally
embrace
gonna
it.
make out.
Cool. Give me although it's not talking, it's still deception. Give me fast talk.
Oh no.
Anna's not at all good at deceiving people, and you're actively trying to deceive her.
No, but I'll use. Wait, okay. Remind me what the what did we say the pushing it rules were?
It's really simple. You can declare that you're going to push it and roll again, but the consequences of failing on a push roll are significant.
Okay. Then I'll just use a major, because we have some stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, that first roll was not the move. And okay, that's a lot better. And so it was a 10, and I'll use 5 luck to bring it to a 5.
Cool. So it's just enough
Yeah.
that you're able to reach into your little pocket and pull out your gun and fire. Go ahead and give me a fire handguns.
Yeah. I'm going to switch to my fancy metal dice for this one. Yeah. Which is a 14 out of 60.
Well done. Roll your damage.
8 total.
Cool. Where are you shooting her?
I feel like, because if I'm distracting with the way that she brought it around, probably like right up against her like abdomen area.
Okay.
And just bam.
Cool. And how much damage did you do?
8 total.
That is extremely well done. Yes. Her limbs spasm. And she reflects it. Like at first you feel like she's letting you go. And then like all of her tenses up. And she begins to try to scream. But her throat is full of something. Major Bane.
Oh no.
As you feel the warmth of whatever it is inside her leaking out all over you in this embrace. And there's a sense almost of the humanity, what little of it's left that's inside her. There's a sense of real betrayal, but real affection. Just buried behind layer upon layer of madness and ambition. But in that moment, you connect with her as the flood slips into you. Now, make a con check for me. And we'll see what happens.
A 44 out of 50.
Excellent. So the rest of you, I'm going to say probably rush forward, and she's swaying a bit, and like without damage, without rolls, just cinematically, some of these limbs come back and knock you out of the way because she's very focused in this moment on Anna as you feel into your eyes, up your nose, reaching around, trying to get in your ear, down your throat, this substance. And then as it hits your tongue, it just breaks apart into dust. These tendrils that were working their way in just start to decay and dissolve back to her. She jerks back and looks at you. Would you like to dodge or fight back?
That's a great question. I'll do dodge.
Cool. Roll it up.
Ooh, that's a 20 out of 60.
Zero, zero, one.
Oh.
Anna, you take 16 points of damage. as she
I'm
rears
dead.
as she rears back. You're not dead. Do you only have 16 hit points?
No, I have 15.
Okay. You're still not dead. But you may be soon. She rears back with one of these arachnoid legs and then just spears you through the chest. The tip digging 4, 5, 6 inches into the wooden floor. With her human arms, she holds on to you with this maternal, disappointed look, and then lets you go as you slide down this scythe-like leg and begin to make a puddle on the floor. And I think that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Thanks, I hate it.
My dice are magic.
Oh my god.
Absolute magic. I was prepared to use every major boon because remember, there's a prophecy. The flood will try to make you part of it 3 times. And it will either succeed or you will die. This is the 3rd time you've been exposed. And you dying. So you should have volunteered. Just saying. You could have been a spore zombie. There's nothing wrong with being a spore zombie. It's fine. It's fine.
We could have been
see what
monster
happens.
lovers.
You still
Like,
might
it's
be.
fine. Now we get angst. Angst.
So who knows? We shall see in what is almost certain to be the conclusion of the conclusion. Where this one and the previous one are a little bit shorter sessions. So we're kind of piecing up this last big kind of denouement of this story arc through a couple of sessions. So I imagine a couple of hours will be sufficient for all of you to either die or for you to find a way to deal with Professor Watson and escape back to reality with your minds not particularly intact, but you'll take what you can get. Cool. So, well, you know what? Thanks everyone for playing, and thanks everyone for joining. Let's go around and remind everyone who you are and where they can find you. Let's start with Katie this time.
Well, I am just speechless. Where can you find me? That's a great question. Probably in the nearest insane asylum by this time next week. But otherwise, I can be found here. And on Juice's channel, we've got some fun events coming up. I know the 20th is his birthday stream. And otherwise, I hang out in Tuff's channel when Tuff streams, Chev's channel, obsessing over his cat, who is the best cat. And that's about it.
Hey everybody, I'm Chev. You can usually find me in this chat, where I mahjong card game on the internet, listening to music and watching cat cams, or hearing the wonderful games that runs here and community members. So if you ever feel like you want to play some card games, listen to some music, and watch some cat cams, come on by.
I'm your only villain or villain. You can find me here at C Plus Content or over at Juice's chat. Pretty much that.
All right, and I am 98 Tough Love, Tough Dwarf Torvalton, some of the variety of nickname. You can find me over at twitch.tv/98 Tough Love sometimes. Otherwise, I'm usually hanging out in other people's chats, or I'm playing games here, and there's lots of games coming up, so keep an eye out. Now that Misha's back, we're actually scheduling things again, so let's go.
I'm hopeless.
Speaking of Mish, go Mish!
Oh, hi. I'm Misha_less_3 here on Twitch. Yeah, you'll see me here or at Juice's TV doing things and stuff. I'm working on getting some stuff scheduled in the near future, such as Teen Justice Academy, which is probably not going to be until February just because of schedules. But, you know, we're getting there, and I think this is a good time. We're probably going to try to get one of those drop-in games set up, so if you haven't been in a game and you want to just do one of those, hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get one of those going. All right, Erthos.
Hey everybody, I'm Erthos, or Lord Erthos. You can see me here on C Plus Content, also hanging out in chats for lots of friends of the channel. Zero.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Zero Zero Daylight. You can find me here, and whenever anyone in Juice's chat says my name 3 times, I appear like Bloody Mary or Candyman. Tell me if I'm lying. So cool, and thanks, Mish, for bringing that up. So yes, so in addition to our kind of pre-planned and scheduled games that we, usually have at least 3 sessions and kind of have a minor story arc, we have a couple of new kind of experimental games posted in the C Plus Next channel. So we have a little sign-up sheet there. And there are also some public channels where that can be discussed. So we have one Call of Cthulhu game. This is a traditional Call of Cthulhu set in roughly the 1920s. It is the Cavendish Collection. It is a rotating cast of traditional investigators who have to reassemble a collection of eldritch items before a rival group can to do something with Cthulhu you don't know. Then we also have a series of games on Survive. Survive is our very own system. It is a Powered by the Apocalypse based system, but it's designed to create tabletop experiences that are very much like, someone's going to remind me the video games that are all based on horror games, the kind of the interactive. The first one was something about, it's the Survive the Night kind of games, where it's a bunch of teenagers in a spooky house, or they all in a ski lodge or whatever. So it's that kind of
Until
Like
Dawn.
Until
Until
Dawn
Dawn.
and the Quarry
So-
and stuff
yeah.
like
So
that.
think tabletop Until Dawn or tabletop Friday the 13th part, whatever. It's really like leaning into those traditional horror tropes and all the mechanics. And it is a game where probably everyone dies. They're like betrayal and social interaction and lots of flirting in inappropriate places. And so it's like all the stuff about the good old days of kind of schlocky horror movies, but in a tabletop version. So those will be kind of drop in, drop out, as in we'll have schedule a date, get 3 to 5 people together. We'll go for one. Those will be like a one shot. For the Cavendish Collection, it's going to be, pick a character, and when you're available, that character is available. So it'll be a very large cast, but no more than 3 to 5 people at a time for each individual little adventure. So just trying to make it easier to schedule this stuff, because folks don't always know when they're going to be available 3 weeks in advance. So anyway, long preamble. Head on over to the Discord, which is community.cpluscontent.tv. Check out our C Plus Next channel, check out our Dice Porn channel and our Book Envy channel and all the memes and the fan art and all that cool stuff, and just generally talk to nerdy people about nerdy stuff. We're happy to have you. And if you're interested and you have a good webcam and a good mic and you want to try it out, just put your name on the piece of paper and we'll have a conversation about it. Cool. Well, we should say goodbye to our friends on YouTube and then come back and raid out. So bye, friends on YouTube. See you soon.
Bye.